Welcome everybody to Aftermatch Wrestling. This is a rated R predictions video for WWE Clash of Champions. Yes, COC. WWE Clash of Champions 2020. I am your host, the rated R reviewer. I am also the only person doing the predictions. Long story. But I'm here and I'm live. And join me in the chat room, all three of you. Thank you for being here. So far, it doesn't look like I'm live. Should turn down the volume. So, nope, there I am. Okay, never mind. Just a delay, folks. Okay, so we have 9 matches, all of them for championships, 3 tag titles, 2 mid-card, and 4 main event titles. Let's start with the tag team championships. I know the kickoff match is going to be the WWE Raw Women's Championship, but I don't want to start with that one. I think that deserves a little bit more respect than to start with and to be on the pre-show for that matter. But I'm going to save that for later. Anyway, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are going to be defending the the Women's Tag Team Championships against Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. They're still calling them the Riott Squad. I don't know why. This doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Like, I feel like they should be on equal plane here. Like, they're friends now, right? And Liv Morgan has had somewhat of individual success. I think they were trying to redub them Living Riott, and that didn't work out. They're still being called the Riott Squad, but whatever. I don't think they're going to win the titles here. To be fairly honest, they should get a title run at some point, but neither woman should be defeating either of the other team, Baszler or Nia Jax. I know a lot of people don't like Nia Jax, and I don't like her in-ring work either, but she is this big women's monster, and neither Liv Morgan nor Ruby Riott should be beating her by themselves, let alone that team beating the team of Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Besides which, as will be the case for a lot of these matches, they just got those belts. Like, they don't need to be dropping them now. So I'm saying retention, Nia Jax and Baszler keep the titles and beat Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. On to the Raw Men's Tag Team Championships. We've got Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, the Street Profits, facing Andrade and Angel Garza, and they will not be having Zelina Vega at ringside. She has left this group. I think the story here is that they're going to be better off without her. They were trying to tell this story a few weeks, maybe even a month or more ago, and they turned it around. Originally, this story looked like it was going to be Zelina Vega was really the one causing the problems, and removing her was going to make them a better tag team. But then suddenly Vince McMahon got all high on Zelina Vega, and he's like, let's not make her look bad in this situation. Let's make them fail as a team, and then she leaves the team, and then they find out without her that they can not only be a better team, but win the Raw Tag Team Championships. I am calling for, finally, after all of these months, damn near a year, Ford and Dawkins have had those titles. They're finally going to lose them. It's going to be Andrade and Garza. And we'll finally have new Raw Tag Team Champions. Speaking of Tag Team Championships, the Smackdown Tag Team Champions, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro will be defending against Lince Dorado and Gran Metalik. Probably going to have the whole team out there of the Lucha House Party. What's his name? Kalisto will probably be out there too. Maybe. In fact, if he's not out there at the beginning, he's going to come out there eventually. He's going to be the reason that they don't win, but they don't win. Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro are a great team. One of those, I guess Cesaro is just so good at tag team wrestling, you can put him in there with anybody, be it Sheamus or Shinsuke, and he will knock it out of the park with the team. In this case, they are going to retain... sorry, gotta write this stuff. Nakamura and Cesaro retain. Let's move on to some singles championships. Mid-card titles. Bobby Lashley is defending the United States Championship against Apollo Crews. And this is Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews we're talking about. Not only is he a main event athlete, should be beating Apollo Crews easy, but he's also going to have the rest of the Hurt Business probably out there with him. And they may get neutralized by Retribution, maybe. I don't know. But I just, honestly, I don't see Bobby Lashley losing the U.S. Championship unless they're planning on putting him in the main event, and they've already tried that. This championship needs to not be hot potatoing, and let's just leave it on Bobby Lashley for now. That's who I'm calling to be the victor. Lashley retains over Apollo Crews. Other mid-card title, the Intercontinental Championship, Jeff Hardy is defending in a ladder match against AJ Styles and Sami Zayn. Now, there are 2 titles up there, and the rules as stated on Smackdown are that the winner will be the one that climbs the ladder and brings both titles down. So, this is an opportunity for some writing shenanigans. This is an opportunity for one guy to be on one side of the ladder grabbing one title, and the other guy to be on the other side of the ladder grabbing the other title, and they both come down, and neither one win because neither one has both titles. And this is where AJ Styles comes up from behind and uppercuts both of them in the balls. And Sami Zayn and Jeff Hardy go down, and that's when AJ Styles walks over, grabs one title, grabs the other. Didn't even have to climb the ladder. He becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. AJ Styles is the perfect guy to hold the Intercontinental Championship for a while. He lost it. He's going to get it back again. This won't be his inaugural retention. So this is one where he can hold this belt for a while, give it back some of the prestige that it has lost. And meanwhile, I think Jeff Hardy's going to eventually move into the main event and face Roman Reigns and hopefully get beat by him. But you never know. I think, Jeff Hardy's on his way to the main event, so he's not going to retain. And Sami Zayn's only in this because it made sense storyline-wise to put him in the title picture because, of course, he's going to believe that he never lost the title. It never really got stripped from him when, in fact, it did. But I think AJ Styles pulls the old double uppercut to the double testicles, and they both go down, each with a title, and he picks them up both. And he's the first one to hold both, and he wins. So I'm saying AJ Styles. Let's move on to the main event championships. So I will start with Asuka versus Zelina Vega because it is, in fact, going to somehow be the pre-show match. But I'll start with it with these 4 main event titles. Asuka and Zelina Vega. On paper, Asuka wins. In the ring, Asuka wins. Even on the mic. No, sorry. On the mic is probably the only spot where Zelina Vega would win. But holy crap. If anybody out there thinks Zelina Vega is going to beat Asuka and become Raw Women's Champion over her, you're crazy. Asuka retains. Since we're on Raw, let's go right into Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. This is an ambulance match, and so any kind of crazy shit can be written into this. I think what's going to be written into this is somehow Keith Lee is going to cost Drew McIntyre the championship, just somehow. Because it's going to end up being Keith Lee going against Randy Orton for the title, and probably Randy Orton's going to beat him. Or maybe this is where Keith Lee breaks out, and this is another one of those Sheamus situations where he's only been in the company on the main brand for a couple of months, and then gets a title out of nowhere for some crazy reasons. I think Sheamus won a Battle Royal where the only people that have never had the title could get into the Battle Royal. And he gets an opportunity and some fluke in a tables match, and he ends up winning the title. This could be another one of those situations where just Keith Lee comes in and they just push him to the moon real quick. Just see what happens. So that's for another day. In this case, I think Randy Orton becomes the new WWE Champion. A lot of the reason for that is this is going to be his number 14. He's finally going to tie Triple H. He's going to get this much closer to tying John Cena. Because if there ever was the biggest match ever, would be if somehow the title got vacated and then you put John Cena at 16, Randy Orton at 16, going for beating or becoming the 17-time champion, and having the record, not sharing it with Flair, not sharing it with each other. But that's for way down the road, probably. In this case, Randy Orton's getting number 14. We don't need two of these matches where Drew McIntyre wins. Occasionally, you need the bad guy to get the title so Drew can come back and take it back. In this case, that's where it's at. Let's move on to SmackDown. Bayley is defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Nikki Cross. And she beat her the first time. She's going to beat her this time. They are setting up Bayley to surpass a year. Hopefully, they're setting up Bayley to surpass Nikki Bella in title reign, and then drop the title at WrestleMania to Sasha Banks, or maybe drop it at the champion or at the pay-per-view before WrestleMania, and having the rematch where Sasha Banks finally retains the championship on her first title defense. One or the other, either or. In this case, Bayley has to keep the title in order to make this happen, so I'm going Bayley over Cross. And that brings us to the final match, the main event, likely Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. Roman Reigns. If you think they're going to put the Universal Championship on Jey Uso for some storyline reason, you're out of your fucking mind. Roman Reigns wins. That's easy. That ends these predictions. As per usual, hopefully this was fast as fuck enough for y'all. The Holiday Christopher May says, hello everyone. Hello everyone in the chat room. So, find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan, S-T-E-F-A-N, or just at Stefan R. Osborne, O-S-B-O-R-N-E. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find me on Facebook with the group Aftermatch Wrestling. Aftermatch Wrestling is also on Twitter and Instagram. On Instagram, I think it's Aftermatch_Wrestling. On Twitter, I think it's Aftermatch Rest. No Ling. We took the Ling out. It was disturbing us. No, AMW, Aftermatch Wrestling. And if you're not watching this somehow on Aftermatch on YouTube, please subscribe. There's a button down here to subscribe and like and all of that. And share us if you'd like to help the channel grow. If somebody else wants to watch, there you go. So I think that's about it. Oh, find us on Patreon at Stefan R. Osborne. Nobody really does, but that's okay. If you'd like to help the channel, the best way to do that is to share the video. All 4 of you. Thank you for watching. See you next time.